Hey, what's up guys, Totally Dubbed here, and today I'm going to give you an installation guide on how to install the Antec KÜHLER H2O 1250. So again, I would like to thank Justin and Patrick from Antec USA for sending me this out for review. So I thought to make an installation guide, even though the instructions are much better than previous Antec coolers out there, and the actual fittings themselves are really good. And I'll get to that in just a second. So here you can see all the packaging that you get. You get the package over here, which I can put to the side. You've got the manual itself, which has got nice detailed instructions of what to do. And you've got the parts over here. So we've got Intel 2011 screws. We've got ones for the AMD original backplate. I'm not going to be using them, so I want to put them to the side. We have got screws for the fans, which, well, for the fans, I mean for the radiator to your case. They're over there, which I'm going to be using. And we've got the for Intel 775, 1150, 1155, 1156, 1366 and AMD in there, and this is the ones I'm going to use because I'm on 1155. I'm running an Asus Sabertooth Z77 with an Intel i7 3770K overclocked to 3.5 GHz in a fractal R4 case. Then we've got these. Now at first I was wondering what they were, and they're actually explained in the manual over here, which I'm going to show you. Over here it shows that if the unit interferes with the components on the motherboard, use the included brackets to adjust the position of the radiator. So it's nice to have that. I don't think I'm going to be using that because I seem to have enough space as it stands in my motherboard, but in my case, sorry, and the clearance of the motherboard seems fine. But we'll see. But I'm going to put these to the side at the moment. Then we've got these little 3M sort of stickers, adhesive strips that are used to put on the back of the motherboard. So these are very useful for keeping the back plate nice and sturdy and in place. So I'm going to be using two of them. Two of them I guess are for extras. Then you get 4 of these little metal bits. Now these 4 little metal bits you're going to want to put in your respective backplate. So this is the backplate that's provided, which is very cool. And as you can see, I'm just trying to shine the light there, it says Intel there, and if I turn it around it says AMD. So it depends on what you're on, and I'm on Intel, so it's going to be that way. And you put these little metal bits into the right respective hole. So we've got 775, 1155 and 1366 in there. So I've put it on 1155, which is the middle one. So all it is you just put it into the hole and have it like that. The backplate is plastic. Unfortunately it's not a metal backplate. Some were wondering if this was a metal backplate or not, but no, this is a plastic backplate. So once you've done that, that's great. And you can also put in the adhesive strips. The adhesive strips are going to go over here, and we can actually do that right now. This is going to be going at the back of the motherboard, so we can put one of the strips on. So they're slightly angled, they've got a slight curve, and that matches with how they go on the back plate. There's even a little groove on the back plate for the strips themselves. I'm going to leave that side on until I actually apply it, so that it doesn't get any dust or whatnot on it. And open the second one up and put that in as well. So we've got the 2 strips there, and you can see it's on the AMD side because it's going to be going like that on the Intel side. As I'm on Intel, that's how it's going to look. So gonna leave this for a little while and show you the other things that are included as well, which is the software, which we're going to put afterwards after we do the installation. So I'll show you that as well. But this is the metal bracket that goes where the CPU is, and I really like this because what they've done is that you've got an adjustment for AMD and Intel. It's a one single bracket that fits all. So as you can see, it pivots in and out, and you might be thinking, oh yeah, but pivots in and out, is it going to be insecure? And Antec have thought about that, which is really good. And you get these 4 little plastic rubbery bits, and even though on the guide it says they go on the side, they didn't really fit on the side. They have to go at the front part right there, and basically the reason you do this is so it locks it in place, locks that mechanism in place so it doesn't wiggle or move around. And I think this is brilliant because it's easy for AMD and Intel users, and if you have one bracket that fits all, let's put it that way, so it's very useful in that respect. So put in these little plastic bits, and as you can see, now they don't move because the plastic bits prevent them from sliding. So there you go, I've got it adjusted all for Intel, just making sure, yep, they're all adjusted for Intel, and that is my bracket, my CPU bracket that's going to go on top. So we're going to use that as well. Going on to the cooler itself, as you can see, it's got pre-applied thermal paste, which cap just fell off, which we're not going to need. And that's going to go on the CPU, and you've got the cooler itself over there. So first of all, I'm going to resume this video after I figure out where I'm going to put the radiator and the fans, because it is reasonably big. The actual pump and the radiator is pretty big, and we're going to try and work out where that goes. And in fact, I'm going to give you exact measurements in centimeters. So from one end of the pump to the other, you're looking at 280 millimeters, so 28 centimeters, which is quite big, as you can see there. And then from this part to there, you're looking at around 90 millimeters. Yeah, about 90 millimeters between that. So you're going to have to bear that in mind when it comes to putting them in, and the clearance that you're going to need in your case. And the actual radiator thickness itself is 25 millimeters, so 2.5 centimeters in thickness of the radiator itself. So there we go. So I'm going to go and see where this is going to fit, and then proceed with the continuation of the installation guide. Hey, what's up guys? So we're back, and I figured out where I'm going to put the cooler and the fan positioning and whatnot of my case, the case fans. So first of all, what we're going to do is put on that back plate. So if you remember, I'm on a Sabertooth Z77 1155 socket. So I'm going to get rid of these adhesive strips that we had over there that we already put on. And now we can look at the Intel logo there and put it down like so. So be sure to line up the holes. It might just take a little while, but just be patient with it and put in the holes respectively. Right, so as you can see, we've got the back plate in place, and the adhesive strips are working because they're nice and solid there, and they're going to give us that little extra help. You don't have to have adhesive strips, just should let you know. It's just it's useful because it keeps the back plate nice in place. So now I'm going to flip it round and put in the fans. And right before we're going to put in the fans and the radiator of the 1250, what we're going to do is put on that that plate to the cooler. So we can remove this little plastic cover, and you want to put that on. So the way you're going to put it on, let's hopefully you can see what I'm trying to talk to you about. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. So as you can see, the way this things work, it has a little bit of a ledge like that, and you want to put it on just like that on the cooler. So that means when it goes on, it's going to be like this. The ring is going to be at the top, and these things are going to be towards the bottom. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's quite easy, unlike the other Antec KÜHLER application that we had over there. This is much more pretty much more simple. So you want to start from here. As you can see, it kind of slides in place, and then you want to twist it so that it rotates and locks. So as you can see now, it's rotated and locked, and I can shake about the cooler and it's still there. And if I turn it like so, as you can see, that's how it's supposed to look like, and it's going to go on. I've got a slight angle there. My cooler is actually going to be positioned upside down. The Antec logo is going to be upside down, and you're going to see why in just a second. So I'll come back after I have put this thing in my motherboard, and by that I mean placed it on top and then showed you how to put it in. Hey, I'm back, guys. So as you can see, I've got a nice setup over there for the radiator to go in with the fans, and you can see that I've got an Asus Sabertooth over there, and I've got some Corsair Vengeance RAM, which is pretty high profile RAM, and it just about squeezes in. Now my CPU fan header is at the top of the Sabertooth. It's actually located over here, and what you want to do is plug that in. So I'm going to plug that in first because or else it's going to be hard to access. So it's going to go in something like that with the cooler going around. So what I want to do is make sure I plug in these things. So first of all, I'm going to put in the USB wire, which is located at the bottom of my motherboard. Right, guys, so I'm going to try and install the cooler. It's quite hard because there's a lot of wires and very hard to manage it, but basically what I'm going to try and do is plug in the cooler itself, and then go ahead by tilting the CPU, the computer, and then plugging in the screws and then screwing them in. Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm back, and as you can see, the Antec 1250 is fitted in properly. Now this was really hard to do. It did take quite a while and quite a lot of patience. You have to be very patient when you're doing this. The reason why is because these screws over here that have like a spring on them, they're very hard to actually get the hole and catch the nut which is under there, which is quite small. So as you can see, it is fully fitted in. Everything seems to be in there properly, and do make sure that the USB is connected, and the USB is connected to my motherboard over there. The CPU fan is connected as well with the splitter, and it's connected to the CPU fan header over there. Make sure the fans are connected to the Antec unit, and that's with a splitter that's already that comes with it already. As you can see, I've just looped it around over there to have a nice little the cable not to be hanging anywhere. And as you can see, the pumps are quite thick, so as you can see, they do come out quite a bit. So do make sure you have that clearance. They just clear my my Vengeance RAM right there. It's very small clearance right there, but I've got it, and I've tested with the fans to make sure that they spin freely and there's nothing hitting them or anything like that. So as you can see, they spin freely, which is great, so I don't have to worry about anything. But do bear that in mind when installing the cooler. And as you can see over here, I have got another outtake, which is the SP120. Normally I should have an AF fan over here, but it's 120mm a hole over here, so that's what I'm going to do. It's 120mm grill, so I might as well have the outtake there, seeing as I've got the fan. If I flip up the computer, as you can see on top, I have got the radiator. Now if you remember, I didn't show you any washers, but there should be washers included. I was indicated this by Antec via my contact over there, and there should be washers included. So the washers I've got over there are with the ones that came with my Antec 920, but you're gonna need them because the reason why is because on my R4 case, these holes over here, basically the screw head fits through them. I think the screw head should be a little bit bigger, and I'm just going to show you this. I'm going to drop it in, but as you can see, it fits straight in and comes straight out, meaning that these ones that without washer, all of these wouldn't have worked. This side was fine over here, but over there was not fine. So I needed to use a washer, and as you can see, when you use a washer, you have that extra sort of headroom, shall I say, as ironic as that sounds, and you got it there. So that's how the radiator looks at the top over there. And now I'm going to show you the back plate that we put on together. So here's the back plate, so that's how it looks. It is under a little bit of stress, and by that I mean it is kind of curved a little bit. The reason behind that is because of my back plate that's on the Asus Sabertooth. You can see there's a little black back plate there, but it fits in well. And everything fits. What you want to make sure is when you're screwing it in, you make sure that these don't start rounding the plastic. That's why I would have liked if this was a metal bracket, because then it would have held these little screws better. Because if you start screwing this right now, it will start rounding, and you can see there's a little bit of chip there on the plastic because there's metal on plastic. So there you go. So that's how the cooler looks like. And what I'm going to do is plug it into my plug in my computer and boot it up. So I'm going to have my computer case open so you guys can see it powering up and whatnot. So I'll be back in just a while. Hey, what's up guys? So I'm just gonna hit the boot button and make it boot. Hey, what's up guys? So I'm back and I'm gonna run the setup right now. So I need to restart, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back after the restart. Right guys, so when you install it, you'll reboot and you'll be presented with Antec is loading up, and you'll be presented with this software. So the software is pretty simple and pretty straightforward to work out. You've got extreme mode and silent mode, which is 2 fan profiles. So if I go in extreme mode, it goes up. And as you can hear probably in the background, the fans ramp up quite a lot. You've also got custom, where you get to choose the RPM of the fans yourself. I wouldn't suggest this unless you know the temperatures that you can run. I would just leave it on either silent or extreme. You can change between Fahrenheit and Celsius. I leave it on Celsius myself. And you've got graphs, which enable you to check the graphs of the liquid temperature or the fan speed, which is pretty useful. And when you press close, it's going to come up with trying to save the data. And then you've got the settings of, say, start minimized, and the appearance. The appearance, I mean, it's this. You can change the color of it. You can change the language as well. So if I change it to French. And then you can change the LED color. So I've got a video on the LED colors with my camera. So I'm just going to get to that in just a second. And so you guys can see that in a bit more detail. But the temperatures are decent. As you can see right now, I'm pretty much on idle. Max temperature is 46 Celsius that I hit. Remember, I am a delidded on an i7 running at 4.5 gigahertz. And these are the temperatures that I read so far. So I did 3 different tests. They all involved IBT, which is Intel Burn-in test. And 3 different tests that I did, where one of them was on silent, one of them was on extreme, and then, well, in fact 4 different tests. I did one on extreme, one on silent, and then put 2 Antec fans, that means my 2 Antec 920 fans at the top of my PC to create a push-pull. Meaning the air is being pushed via the stock fans through the radiator and then being pulled out of the radiator by the 2 external fans that I put on. And these are 4-pin PWM fans, so they're fully, they work fully with the software. And I noticed a little drop in temperatures, which was brilliant. So this is the extreme profile, and with the push-pull. So this is with the push-pull. When I mean push-pull, that means with the 2 additional fans over there. My maximum temperatures was 68 Celsius. And then I've got the same thing, but on silent mode. And you can see the temperature over here was 72 Celsius, so just a little bit more. And then over here on extreme, that means just without the additional fans, just what you get in the box. I got 70 Celsius, so that's a little bit more. It's 3 degrees more than you could see over here, 3 to 2 degrees more than you can see over here. And then I have got silent, which was again without the 2 extra fans, the 2 additional fans, and this was 75 Celsius, so that's a difference of 5 Celsius. So the push-pull configuration definitely does help. It's actually really good. And I also did a reapplication of my my Antec 1250, and by that I mean I changed the thermal paste. I got rid of the thermal paste and put my Arctic Cooling MX2 paste on there, simply because I thought due to the installation process being a little bit hard, I kind of smudged the paste. Well, it didn't make any difference. As you can see, this was on extreme with the MX2, and this was extreme without the MX2. So I was without the MX2 70 Celsius, and with the MX2 reapplied thermal paste, pea-sized dot method for the thermal paste application, and again 70 Celsius, so around the same temperature there. So there was no difference with the thermal paste application. So that's nothing to worry about if you guys don't have thermal paste in that respect. But I did a test just in case, just to see how it was, because I noted the differences between changing the paste on my Antec 920 quite a while ago. So anyway, I'm going to resume this video with me showing you the LED colors and how they work, and finally summing it up from there.
So a cool thing about the Antec 1250 is the fact that it can adjust its own light. Either it can be user defined, which is pretty cool, or it can be adjusted to the liquid temp. So as you can see, I've put the lowest temp as 23 and the highest temp as 35, just to illustrate a good example. I'm going to run Intel burn-in test, and you'll see the color of the LED changing within the computer. So right now it's at blue. It's like blue turquoise, and I'm going to hit Intel burn-in test. You can be able to see the color changing, and I'll let you know the liquid temperature it's at. So right now it's at 27.6. It's gone to 28, 29, 29.5, 30. So as you can see, the color is adjusting accordingly, and that's pretty cool. So I'm going to change the LED max temp to 30, to about 30. Let's put it just to 30. And as you can see, it's gone red, because after it passes 30. It's going to get to the red color. So as you can see, the color is pretty cool. It allows you to have that always adjusting to what your actual liquid temperature is. So remember, this is the liquid temperature, not the CPU temperature, but it is pretty cool that it can do that, and yeah, it's a really nice addition by Antec. There we go, guys. Now you know how to install your Antec 1250. I just wanted to end this video to show you the what I was talking about with the push-pull configuration on my setup. As you can see, I've just got the wires just going into my case on the side, which isn't closed properly, but I'm doing this more for test basis. But yeah, a push-pull configuration definitely works much better for your temperatures, your CPU temperatures. In my case, I can mount the 1250 in the front because there's loads of space, and the tube length is enough to go all the way to the CPU. So I could do that on my Fractal R4, but I decided to do this, and also because I've been having some trouble getting rid of my HDD cage, and also because I need my hard drives and SSDs to be running. So hopefully this guide has helped you and given you a nice overview of how to install your 1250 in case you have any troubles. They've definitely improved the installation process. It is still extremely hard to do. You do need a lot of patience, as said before, and it's something that you should take your time doing and not stress about too much. So please do like this video if it's helped you. Do let me know your comments below of the installation process, if you had any problems with it, or what you think about it, or what can be improved, or comparisons with other competitors of Antec, say Corsair's installation process and whatnot, or previous Antec installations, and let me know your thoughts below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. Always helps, and keeps me going. Alright guys, take care. Totally dubbed out. Bye bye.